Okay, boys and girls, so the question is, was the garden lifeless or full of life? Who wants to begin? Jaden, I saw your hand first.
I think the garden is,
Okay, we're not going to be able to read off our papers. You have to be able to talk without your paper.
full of life because when he was standing and looking off the garden back to his home, he felt happy. And well, he felt sad kind of because he missed his home, but it reminded him of his family.
Robert?
I disagree with you, Jaden, because I think the garden is lifeless because there's only one tree and a couple bushes.
Robert, I'm not sure what you mean by that. Could you explain your opinion a little bit more?
What I'm trying to say is the garden is so lifeless. It's such a big garden, and there's only like one tree and a couple bushes, so that there's like a lot of space where there's just nothingness. So there's like no life in there.
Go ahead, Rain.
I disagree with you, Robert, because like it's a garden, and like the fact that they're on the hill, like I looked in the illustrations, and like there's like grass all over the hill, and like the fact that it's a peach tree, it's a plant, and that's full of life, and it is actually full of life, 'cause people have life, you know, and the laurel bushes, they really have life because they're a kind of plant, and that's what people aren't thinking about. But can you please explain a little more about that, so I can understand it better?
Yeah. Okay. What I've been trying to say is, you know, it was a giant hill, and then surrounding the whole house was the garden. And then there was only one tree and a couple bushes, which was full of life, but the rest of the hill was just nothing, so there's no life in it really.
Does anyone agree with Robert and they want to help explain his opinion to make it more clear?
Well, the peach tree is the only thing that's full of life because the laurel bushes are dirty, and if a plant is dead, it's not full of life.
Okay, Ariana?
I think that the garden is lifeless because it's large and desolate.
And remind us what desolate means.
It's like large, but it's empty. There's nothing there.
Okay, Dominic?
Ariana, I agree with you because if it's large and they have a peach tree that gives them no peaches, so I agree with you that it is lifeless.
Taylor?
I agree with you, Dominic, because there's nothing that's really that's full of life, because the peach tree doesn't give any peaches, which means it's not full of life. And the bushes are dirty and old, and so they are not full of life either.
Okay, we're gonna go, Dylan?
I agree with you, Ariana, because like there's nothing for him to do in the garden with the bushes and that one tree.
No one has mentioned, but what can he see when he looks out from the garden? Carlos?
When he looks out of the garden, he can see woods and the sea, and the sea was like it was big as a magic carpet, and you can see lots of other children playing in there, and he wants to go out and play, but his arms will let him.
Juliana?
He sees his old house, and it makes him really happy to see it. And he also sees the woods, and he gets to see a lot. He gets to see a few things, which makes him happy because it like reminds him It reminds him of when he used to be happy.
So going back to what was the question we're asking?
What he sees.
What's the bigger question we're asking?
The bigger question.
Can someone help Juliana out? Ariana?
The bigger question is, was his garden full of life or lifeless?
Okay, and so we were just talking about what he sees from the garden. So how does that help us to answer, is the garden lifeless or full of life?
It helps us to see if the garden is lifeless or full of life, because if he looks down and he can see all of his old memories and stuff, so it's kind of in the middle of both.
Anyone? Jaden?
I agree with you, Ariana, because it could make him happy when he looks down, or it could make him sad. But I think it would make him sad because he used to like going down there and playing in the water, but now he can't. And I think that makes him like really sad.
Dominic?
I agree with you, Jaden, because if he looks down and he was up on the hill with this peach tree that gives him no peaches, with his ants that that are like lazy and treat him bad and call him bad names, and he probably is very sad that he's up there and all his other friends are down there playing in the sea and down playing in the sand.
But does James have any hope?
No. Because
Brianna?
I think his hope is, I think he has like little bits of hope, but I think like a lot of it is gone because of when he left, because when he couldn't be able to go back to where his parents used to live with him.
Okay, so without hope, then the garden is still
Nothing.
full of life or lifeless?
Lifeless.
Okay, I see your point. Gavin?
whenever like he stops working, like the ants beat him, and I think that makes the garden lifeless.
I disagree with you, Gavin, because because it's not just all about the aunts and James. It's about like the garden. And
Yeah, remember at this point we haven't even met the ants yet at this chapter.
And like there is like what, and like there's life and everything, like everything around him. Just because the peach tree doesn't give any peaches does not mean it's not full of life, because plants have a lot of life in them. Because like they have, this is kind of weird. Plants have feelings too.
And I have to say, I actually disagree with you guys. I think that the fact that he can see the ocean from the garden and that he can see his home, I think those are signs of life and of the fact that there is still a wonderful world beyond the garden. Does anyone have any thoughts about my opinion? Faith?
I agree with you because the garden, when he looks down and sees the ocean, and it makes him feel happy because he remembers like that he used to be able to go down there.
Jacob?
I agree with you, Faith, because probably when he's looking down, he has memories of him being down there with his friends and him in the water, and maybe when the aunts don't let him down there, maybe he'll get sad because he won't be able to have new memories of it there.
Okay. Ariana and then Aubriana.
Jacob, I agree with you, but could you tell me a little bit more about your point of view?
She asked you to tell her more about your point of view. She said she agrees with you.
Like, what I'm trying to say is, like, his memories that he used to have there, like him playing with his friends, him splashing in the water. Like, if the ants won't let him down there, like, he'll get sad and, like, he won't feel good, and he won't, like, feel good after what they will do to him, like, beat him, or not, like ruin his life of not having it fun anymore.
Are memories all he has, though? He doesn't have any hope of ever going down to the ocean again? Ashley.
No, he doesn't have any hope because he might not know that he might not go down. He probably knows that he won't go down there because it's absolutely.
Robert?
I think he has no hope because the ants are just going to keep him trapped on the hill and keep making him a slave, making him do what they want instead of them doing what they need to do.
Okay. I'm seeing all the same hands. I want to see some new hands.
The people who have...
And Nesty, what do you think?
I think that it's lifeless because there's only a tree that doesn't give peaches, and I don't think that's lifeless because I think that's lifeless because there isn't a lot of life if there's a tree that doesn't give you anything.
Except that you're not responding to exactly where we were in the discussion, so that makes me wonder if you were listening. Okay. Jocelyn doesn't have anything. Okay, I'm gonna go with Rain.
I disagree with you and Esty because it's not just his memories that makes him sad, but like there's also things around him, like just looking at the forest might like make him happy because the forest is full of life and there might be happy things in the forest.
Okay.
Because so he might look at it and it might make him feel better.
Okay, Jaden.
Honestly, I disagree with you because just because there's one or two things that isn't life in the garden doesn't mean that there's the whole garden is lifeless. There could be more life.
I disagree with you, Jaden, because if he's not allowed to go down to the forest, then that doesn't make it lifeless.
Okay.
That's like
Calvin, haven't heard from you yet. Thanks.
I agree with you because it's lifeless, and whenever he looks down the hill, he feels sad because he can't go with his friends, and his aunts don't let him go outside and play with his friends.
I disagree with you, Calvin, because he doesn't have to go down to the hill. He can imagine.
See, I think that's a good point, you guys. I think if there's life around you, isn't there still some hope? Well, you guys are saying it's hopeless.
Just
I really feel like there's still some hope if there's signs of life around him.
Just because
Okay, wait. Remember, one person at a time. So we're really pretty stuck on lifeless, and I'm just wondering, is there any sign of life as long as there's still life around him? So one person at a time. Let's start with Juliana.
There is life around him, and it is life, and it is full of life because it doesn't matter where, like what he's standing on, like what's around him. It matters like what's right in front of him. Like there's life around him, but there's not like I think some people are meaning like what he's standing on, what he sees, but what's above that, it's what matters because what like he sees trees. He sees the ocean, he sees his old house, and that's all full of life.
Right, and in life, are you always going to be exactly where you are one moment in time, or does life change?
Life changes as you go on.
Dylan.
I disagree with you, Juliana, because him looking at his house gives him sad memories about his parents getting eaten by that creature, and that he can't go over to his house because his aunts are too mean to, like, not let him go over there. So he has to stay in his new house with his aunts.
Taylor.
I disagree with you, Dylan, because all around him is full of life. Because if he looks at his house, he sees his house, which gives him memories of when he was happy with his parents. And he's got trees and life full of life.
Okay. Robert.
Taylor, I disagree with you because when you're stuck on a hill with no life, then it's really no life looking at other stuff around you.
Jacob, I'm not going to call on you because you started talking before you were called on. Okay, I'm going to do Ariana.
Robert, I disagree with you because all around him, if he looks around himself, there's all kinds of things that are full of life. There's woods and fields and all kinds of stuff.
Aubriana, and then Jaden, and then Rain.
I think it's full of life because in chapter 2 of it, of Jana, Linda, and Peach, he was able to go down to a little thing and he hid himself, and I think he's like getting close. He's like getting closer to hope, more hope.
Jaden. Oh, I'm sorry. Who did I say next?
Jaden.
You said Jaden.
Oh, Jaden. Okay.
Taylor, when you said your thing, I agree with you, and I think that just because he's in something that's not full of life doesn't mean there is nothing that is full of life. But he can look down and he can see his home, and he can see everything that he used to have, and he still has that because he could imagine himself being down there, and he could imagine himself playing.
Jaden, I think you did a great job with that. Rain.
I agree with you, Jaden, because life isn't all just, it's not all about, like, being stuck in one place. Like, even though he's, like, stuck in his garden, he can still, like, remember all the happy things that happened to him. And, like, he can imagine himself, like, going through the woods, and, like, if he knows life is around him, like, life is there.
Good job. I'm going to stop recording. You guys did a good job. Really good job.